Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1M1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual incubator and accelerator in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. And in support of that mission, we have a variety of different activities and programming. One of them is this free mentoring session. We have done 260 of these so far, and today is the 261st session. So welcome to all of you who are in the room today. And today we're going to do mostly working with entrepreneurs, but I want to spend some time giving you some context about a lot of stuff going on in that you're reading about in the media, and I want to analyze that for you and give you a bit of guidance before we get started with the entrepreneur mentoring. Now, the event is being recorded. If you are live tweeting the show, please use #1M1M, and our Twitter handles are @1M1M and @Romana. You're welcome to follow either of those. We retweet a huge amount of really high-quality content, so it's a great channel to learn from and be inspired by. We have hundreds of entrepreneurs that we work with, successful entrepreneurs whose stories we bring to you, whose advice we bring to you, and the goal is to have you learn from people who have done it before, and that is the whole ethos of the 1M1M program in general. The 1M1M Roundtable's YouTube channel, has all the recordings of our prior roundtable videos as well as other stuff. So this roundtable will be available there as well. And you will find, again, a very, very high, level of content on the YouTube channel as well. So if you are not caught up with that content, I would strongly recommend when you have time to do that. It's very, very high-quality content. These are the call-in instructions for our call. So whenever we are ready to take calls, I will turn this on, and I will put the slide back on, and you can call in. And so keep, as you're going through the session with us today, please make sure you file away your questions. You can start typing the questions in the public chat. Be sure to turn your chat to send to all participants, not to me or to Maureen, but to all participants. And you're also welcome to call in. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about, something that's going on in the market. And we have also been reporting on this a lot and doing programming around it, is this whole concept of billion-dollar unicorns. So in January, my billion-dollar unicorns book came out. It's the 12th volume of the Entrepreneur Journey series. And since then, we've done a lot of unicorn-related programming. We've invited either unicorn entrepreneurs or people who are building companies that are close to becoming unicorns, or investors in unicorn companies to the show, to the program here, and we've had lots of discussions around what they have done, how they have navigated their way, what they have learned, and so forth. And one of the things I have tried to highlight both in the book and in this series is that try to focus on the notion that entrepreneurship equals customers, revenues, and profits, and valuation, financing, exit, all these are kind of optional tools. They're incidentals. They're not the fundamentals. The fundamentals are customers, revenues, and profits. Now, the problem we have in the market right now, and it has happened before, during the dot-com bubble, we had this in droves, and this phenomenon has come back with a vengeance in the market right now, which is the notion of valuation without revenue. So both entrepreneurs and investors are acting essentially like speculators, and they're investing in a bunch of stuff, driving up valuations to completely unreasonable levels. And there are all kinds of mechanics related to that you need to understand, liquidation preferences and artificially inflated valuations and so forth. This stuff is really confusing the market. And I'm going to point you to a set of articles that I've written that if you read those articles and the various different pointers I've offered you there, I believe actually, it will help you understand this phenomenon better, and you, as you're making your decisions in your journey, need to understand these phenomena quite well. So looking forward to the real Silicon Valley is a very recent article that we published last week. The link is on your screen. That's one article, and Maureen has put the link on the public chat as well. So what I talk about there is it's an analysis of, what happens if the amount of money flowing into venture capital shrinks. My thesis is that there is too much money chasing too few fundable deals, and as a result, everything is getting the valuations are getting out of whack because the VCs are basically bidding up the valuations way beyond what fundamentals would justify. So my theory is that if the amount of money flowing into venture capital goes down, it will actually restore a more normal dynamic, a healthier dynamic in the industry. So this article goes through and takes you through the details of that logic. There's another one that I recommend you read, that's The Funny Money Unicorn Business. And this is about how this whole valuation without revenue trend is mucking up all the sensibility in the market. So as one of my VC friends said yesterday, entrepreneurs believe that they do not need to behave responsibly anymore. That's a very dangerous state of affairs, If you really drive up your burn rate artificially for no reason, gratuitously raise money, gratuitously burn money, that is not a way to build a healthy business. That is not a way for you to make money either. People make the maximum money when you do things in a capital efficient manner and you legitimately build up valuation and you legitimately exit, whether you go public or you go get acquired, and everybody has, good return on investment, good multiples on, based on fundamentals. But if you're playing the speculative game and driving up valuations without any connection with fundamentals, it is very difficult actually for entrepreneurs, employees, even investors to make any real significant money. So I'm going to also point you to a few discussions we've had here at the roundtables. In case you have not listened to Fred Luddy, please do that. It's the first 30 minutes of a recent roundtable, and again, the link is on your screen. Fred Luddy is the founder of ServiceNow. ServiceNow, the last I checked, was valued at $12 billion. Fred raised $2 million in venture capital, and before raising $2 million in venture capital, he had already validated the market. With that $2 million in venture capital, he took the company to $45 million recurring revenue run rate, annual recurring revenue run rate. Now, what that allowed him to do, and subsequently he raised more money and took the company to a $100 million valuation before stepping down actually as the CEO. He brought in a CEO to do all the channel development and the global sales and all that. But he took the company as CEO up to $100 million. And today, after he stepped down from the CEO role, he's continued to be the chief product officer of the company, and he's a really great product guy. If you listen to this discussion, Fred and I discussed at length this philosophy of setting things up right. If you can do the fundamentals right in the early stages in a capital efficient manner and really understand what the levers are, at that point putting in a lot of venture capital and scaling the company becomes viable and significantly easier. So that's why I want you to listen to Fred. He's done it. I have not done it. I've not built a $1 billion revenue company. Fred has is getting close. That company, ServiceNow, is getting close to building a $1 billion revenue company, not a $1 billion valuation company. They already are a $1 billion valuation company. They've been a $1 billion valuation company for a long time. They're a $12 billion valuation company. But, but they're getting close to building a $1 billion revenue company. And that's really the kind of things you keep in mind if you go out and raise huge amounts of money. By the way, you don't have to raise huge amounts of money. You can build a self-finance business, a bootstrap business, and we will support you. That's not a problem. We support bootstrappers very heavily. So, so that's, it's an option, but it's an option. It's not a requirement. The other story, the other video conversation that I would like you to listen to on this subject is my discussion with Scott Sandell, who is a general partner at NEA. Scott has been on the Forbes Midas list every year since 2007, and he's invested in a number of billion-dollar valuation companies. That includes Salesforce.com, WebEx, Workday, and so forth. One of my favorite companies that he has invested in is Tableau Software. Tableau Software is about an $8 billion valuation company in the public market today. Tableau went public with just about $20 million in funding. By the time they raised money, they were already doing serious revenues, and they didn't really need a lot of money. So it's an amazingly capital-efficient execution, and that returned in humongous amounts of money, and the entrepreneurs made humongous amounts of money. So this is one that, again, listen to this conversation. The link is on your screen, and I believe Maureen has put all the links on the public chat as well. What this will do, if you listen to these things, these videos, as well as go through the links that I shared with you, it will help you make sense of the madness that's going on in the market. We have currently something like 110 or 115 companies in the private market that are valued at what we call unicorn levels, $1 billion plus valuation. And many of those do not deserve that kind of valuation. The fundamentals are not there. So yes, it is a bubble, it is a very frothy environment, and so forth. So if you go through these 4 pieces that I've given you as context and as analysis behind, what's happening in the market, I'm pretty sure you will understand and have a, well-formed perspective on the issues at hand right now. And I believe that you need to understand them to make your own decisions as you are navigating the waters of entrepreneurship. Okay, so do people have questions? I would take questions from public chat on this topic. Before we go into the mentoring sessions, if you like, we can go through some questions here. Anybody? Please use the public chat to ask your questions, okay? No? You don't want to ask questions? All right, well then you can file away your questions. We will get to Q&A later on in the session. Why don't we start with Stuart Loringer. Stuart, if you could unmute your line and tell us what you're working on, that would be great. You there, Stuart?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes. Go ahead,
okay,
Stuart.
Good. Okay. All right. So something with the technology here. Yeah. So should I start my presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. I'm Stuart Loringer, actually here in Palm Springs, California, and the venture we're undertaking is MDBN. It's Music Database Network, and basically, in a short version. We're MDBN of the music world. How many people are familiar with MDBN, Internet Music Database, Internet Movie Database, rather.
IMDb for music.
Yes, yes. So basically, IMDb is for films, and we want to be what they're for music, and even more. There's a lot of applications we can add on to this with music. But to start, we want to be where professionals can post credits, and fans can research and look up different things, who's on an album. But even more than that, there's a lot of people behind that. Like on the album, there's engineers, there's songwriters. There's a lot of things that go into making an album, and ditto with a tour. There's lighting companies, sound companies. There's a lot of people involved in performances, not just the artists. So people would be interested as far as finding out who was involved, how much it grossed, all kinds of data like you would get on IMDb for film, and more. So the problem here that we're solving is that it's extremely fragmented due to advances in technology and digital media. Basically, what we're doing is bringing it all together here in one site. I mean, you can find out this information, but you have to do a lot of research. If you want to find all this different information, you have to go to multiple sites and really, dig in. If you can find it at all, sometimes you can't. That's the problem we're solving here. And of course, everyone knows that the music is a huge market out there. I would say most people in the world like some kind of music, and we're going to be catering to all genres of music internationally. So we're targeting the music industry, but we're also targeting the fans and the people who are into music and want to find out what's going on and who's involved in what. So and then as far as like record labels finding out about new artists and stuff like that, we'll have that information available too, just like they do at IMDb for films that are in development. There's a lot of.
What is IMDb's model?
I beg your pardon?
What is IMDb's business model? How does IMDb make money?
They make money by subscriptions. There's basically a subscription-based model for the IMDb Pro, where you can list credits. That gives you access to listing credits and interacting with the site. Otherwise, it's free for like fans who just want to look up who was acting in a certain movie or something like that. And we're going to have a similar model where we're going to have a subscription-based, and then there'll be a free service, and then also we'll have a lot of opportunities for advertising, incentives, promotions, getting involved with artists and tours and the like. So there'll be a lot of, and also the technology they're building our database from the ground up. So we're going to have a very unique database. So there might be some licensing opportunities as well that we can see.
So I see that your first thing that you're trying to do is raise money.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, at this stage, when you just have a concept and you don't have really anything going, it's very difficult to raise investment except from friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
So to get this business going, you're going to have to use either friends and family investment or your own personal savings. This is not a stage where people have succeeded in raising money professionally, usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's a very early stage. I've put already $150,000 of my own money in. So we basically built which we don't have the video here, we've built a user interface. So we do have something, but again, we don't have the traction, the revenues, I understand. So we're pre-revenue, and that I'm well aware of there. So it's a little more difficult.
So I think you're going to need to be quite a bit more realistic about how to build this business. If you assume that somebody is going to finance it with a serious chunk of money in the next 18 months, the assumption is probably a flawed assumption. So you're going to have to figure out how to be creative about, getting things done without assuming that you're going to get a lot of financing. And to the extent that you need financing, you're going to have to raise that from your friends and family mostly.
I understand. Yeah, so we're in that stage, I guess.
The other question I have, which you're going to need to somehow validate, is that is the music industry willing to pay this subscription? The film industry is a robust industry from a business model point of view. The music industry has problems. So I don't know whether they will or will not. It's very well could be exactly the way it will. It could very well be that the music industry will operate exactly the same way as the film industry. But I would talk to people to see if they're willing to pay this kind of money, subscription fees, and who are the, what kind of people in the industry are most likely to pay the subscription fee, in which case you would the other thing that you could think of doing is actually doing a Kickstarter campaign, perhaps, to raise some money from those kinds of people. If you have a good understanding of who these people are, who are likely to pay the subscription fee, and if you can find enough of them, and if you can do a crowdfunding campaign, that might work as well.
Right. Well, we do have quite a few industry contacts that we've already gone out to, and we feel we have a really good model here that people would be willing to pay. I mean, we're talking about $100 a year, and there are as much as we've seen the music industry change, and companies go out of business, et cetera, during the whole Napster thing, which I was actually involved in from kind of sidelines with the RIA and everything, and but what's happened is there's been a lot of consolidation in the music industry, and they're still thriving on the tours, and still there's a vibrant business in the music industry. Now, on the film side, yeah, we see a lot of blockbuster movies and a lot of Disney's and all that have been around forever, but there's also a huge independent film base, and they're ones to also use IMDb. And the independent, a lot of filmmakers are not doing well. I mean, the big companies like the Disneys of the world are, they have the capital to do the movies and do the promotions and marketing that's involved with a film. And but then you have a huge independent group that's not always successful. In fact, something like 32,000 films get made each year, and less than 600 get theatrical distribution. So that's less than 2%.
How much does IMDb make? Do you know what IMDb's revenues are?
Yeah, I have that in our business plan. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I do have that in our business. We did study IMDb. We actually do a whole in the business plan. We have a whole study there that we did. And is
IMDb an independent company? Is it owned by some larger company? Who owns IMDb now?
They were bought out for, I believe, $100 million.
By whom?
I believe they were bought out by Amazon, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. All right, so that's IMDb is obviously your comparable, and you're going to need to basically understand how IMDb built the business and model after that. So that's a good thing that they've been bought out by Amazon, and if you can replicate that, maybe Amazon will buy you as well.
Right.
I think the best thing would be if you can get people from the music industry to do this with you. You know, in terms of investors. So if you have contacts, if you have friends and family, you know, it could be professional friends in the music business who are willing to write some, you know, $100,000 checks, or maybe 10 people willing to write $50,000 checks. That may be the best way for you to finance this.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Is there any other question that I can answer for you? All right, Stuart, thank you. We're going to Gilad Salamanter next.
Thank you.
Gilad, you're up next.
Yes, hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
First of all, I want to thank you for doing this. I mean, this is, you know, you're not getting paid for that, so I want to thank you for taking the time and listening to entrepreneurs like us. With that, I'm going to go to eClincher. eClincher is a social media management, and we can go to the next slide. So a little bit about the stats. I mean, in 2014, it's quite obvious that people spending more time on social media. In fact, just recently, Bloomberg reported that people spending more time on social media than surfing the net, the internet, which is really amazing how social media is growing. And also with SMB, small, medium-sized businesses, we can see that basically two things. One, social media presence is something that a must-have for any business or most businesses, and they have to be active on social media. And they also can acquire customers and leads from social media. So that's really the main message from this slide. We can go to the next slide. So what are the challenges with managing social media? So obviously we have multiple channels. We have to publish, we have to schedule, analytics, leads. There's a lot of challenges that the business owners or the marketing people of the business, they have to face, but mostly really the complexity and the time consuming. So we saw an obvious need for something simple and effective and aggregation application or a platform that can help businesses manage everything in one place in a very simple and effective way. Next slide, please. So what's the market opportunity? It's about 10 billion. In fact, it's even larger than that as we're going forward in time. As I explained previously, more businesses joining into a social media presence, creating their presence, and then trying to manage that. On average, a business should post about 4 to 6 posts a day. So you can imagine you have to do that on multiple channels. It takes a lot of time. So it's a big market, and we're happy to be in that market. Next, please. So what's the value proposition? Really create a simple and intuitive or simple solution. It's a SaaS-based platform or application, and also a business model. You can do publishing, schedule content. So you can schedule a post, let's say, to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, and so on, from one simple interface at the same time. So when you edit your message, you attach your image, you publish it to all those channels at the same time. And you can also plan your week ahead and then schedule it for the entire week or month or the entire year if you like. There are other features which are important as well, which are engagement, monitoring. Those are basically live feeds. So businesses can view what's coming in, who is talking about their brand. They can engage with potential leads and gain customers. So we also have unified social inbox. Unified meaning just like your email, your Gmail, or any kind of email service, you can get all your messages, your direct messages, your comments, your likes into one inbox. And then as a business, you can address that right away, rather than log into multiple channels and possibly miss a comment or something that somebody said. It could be a negative comment and so on. So that's really critical. A little bit of what our customers are saying, so obviously good things. That's why I'm presenting here. But we have customers switching from Hootsuite. Hootsuite is the big company. They valued over $1 billion. So that's always good feeling for us. It's a huge boost for us, obviously, coming from being a small company and competing with huge companies with a lot of finance and people. They have over 400 people in customer support, as an example.
This company
let's move on.
That here has 400 people in customer support?
Yeah, Hootsuite. Hootsuite is it's a Canadian company, big company. So so we're competing with them, and initially we actually went after the small business, but our customers came from all over and compared us to Hootsuite and Spot Social and Buffer and so on. So we decided that basically this is our market, our customer basically telling us our tool is better, right, or the same or better than people that are competing in the enterprise or larger businesses. So that's always nice to hear, but we're still targeting the SMB. Let's move on. Okay. So a little bit about the competition. So we listed here a few: Hootsuite, Spot Social, Buffer, EveryPost, Octopost, some newer companies. So basically, we're matching and better in many of the features. One of the big differentiators is really the simplicity. That means 1 to 2 clicks to navigate within the app, and having that really simple to use application. So almost users even with no experience can use the application. And the other thing is we are a more complete solution. So we have more features. As a business, you don't want to go to one analytics tool and then a schedule or sharing on social media, another tool, and so on. This is more of a complete one solution, one stop. Let's move to the next slide, please. Yeah, sure.
Slide, Gilad, can you talk about the pricing? I know you have a line there on pricing, but we can't read it.
Sure. If you go to the appendix, that will show you the business model as well. The last one, if you want to jump to that one.
So, but you want to go in order? You've already got hundreds of paid customers, and you've got a $35,000 revenue.
Actually, we passed that. In terms of the business model, just one line, I'll just touch base. So we have 3 or 4 plans. It's $8 a month, $25 and $50, and then there's $150 for agencies. So that's per month, and we started with free plan initially because we wanted to gain a lot of users, and we also partnered with many channels, big channels like Shopify, e-commerce, Wix. We're soon to be up with Weebly. We're talking to GoDaddy. So those channels allow us to get a lot of users very quickly and fine-tune our system, our feature set, making sure that the customers are liking the product and using the product. And we recently, only about a month ago, we changed the free to paid with a trial period of 14 days. So that's what you see. Most of the revenue actually is recent. So we're quite happy with that.
How long, how much time did you generate this $35,000 over?
So
what is your month? What is the monthly recurring revenue situation run rate right now?
So probably I would say around $3K.
Okay.
So 3 going up. So we're talking to so agency. Once we sign up agency, there's one customer in particular. He's managing 150 customers. So that means that could be $4K a month just from that one customer. So that's we're in process of closing on that. So revenue can grow significantly very quickly. with additional agencies, and that's a recent feature that we added.
Okay.
So why are we going to win? We have a really good team, experience, 15 years and up, developers, experience. We're completely on AWS, so it's scalable, it's secure. We also received the credit from Amazon AWS for 100K. So essentially, we're not paying for any of the services that we're using, the servers and so on. We really built a platform. It's not a feature. So it's not, share a picture on social media. It's something much, much larger. And I wish I could do a demo, but obviously we cannot do a demo. But you can imagine this platform is really connecting all the social media, all the different accounts. You can engage and monitor, and you can schedule and publish content. You can manage your content.
We know the space reasonably well.
Okay, great. I'm happy to hear that. So, so what's the differentiation in terms of?
Tell me more about this do-it-for-me services. What is do-it-for-me about this? It seems like you are powering social media managers to do it for themselves. Why is it do-it-for-me?
So that's on the roadmap. So do-it-for-me, basically, there are a lot of businesses out there that are looking for someone else to manage the social media presence for them, just because of the time and the complexity, and it will take time until everyone will feel comfortable doing it for themselves, or it will become part of the must-have marketing strategy for every business, which it is becoming over time. That's part of the social media, but there will be a lot of businesses out there that would like to pay, let's say, $300 a month, and you post for them, you find content for them, and you drive traffic for them to their website. So that's the do-it-for-me. That will come later on once we're financially more solid and we can support and increase the team and can support that. So that's something that we're thinking of doing as well.
So that business, if you decide to go in that direction, I'm actually of the opinion that a lot of small businesses would want that as the primary way of dealing with this. That would be a very good way for you to differentiate and build, build your business. That may be your main business. The platform is in a very competitive space with the dominant player like Hootsuite already in the market. That is also improving its offerings. But do-it-for-me, I don't know, I haven't done the competitive analysis around do-it-for-me social media services like this, and that, in my opinion, that is an interesting opportunity.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
They constantly see people looking for somebody to do their social media for them.
Yeah, and it's quite easy to build revenue fairly quickly, right?
Yeah.
So this is a little bit about the team. So team we're about 10 people. So one second, my partner just walked in, and I'm sorry. So yeah, let's move on to the next slide. So this is the funding we're looking for, $750 with a convertible note, and it will mainly use to expand the team and do the go-to-market. So we feel strongly. We basically built a product. It's being used we have paid customers. We're growing, but we want to grow faster. So now we're looking for partners to help us do that and grow the company.
Do you have already some seed funding that you've put into the company, or is this going to be the first round of financing?
No, the company has been existed for 2.5 years. So mostly we put our own money, and we raised $300K.
Yeah, okay. And so is there a convertible note in place that you're going to add this $750K to that same convertible note, or is this going to be a different convertible note, a new convertible note?
The first one actually was a preferred round. Actually, it was a price round. Of pre was the $4 million. This one is going to be a convertible note, a new convertible note. I
see. Okay, got it. So I'll talk more about how we work on financing some stuff like that a little bit later. I have, I believe, 2 more people that I need to work with. So I think I understand what you're trying to do. It's interesting. I'm particularly excited about the DIFM strategy, and you may want to consider if that is not the primary business that you want to get into. That's just my feel, is given a competitive landscape like what you've presented, that may be the best way to build a large business around this. Of course, it's a different kind of business. It's, it's kind of like an outsourcing business. You will need to manage a large team of people. You need to figure out where do you put those people that are affordable and scalable and so forth. So California, San Francisco area is not going to be the place to put it. Where are you based, by the way?
We're in Mountain View.
You're in Mountain View. So Mountain View wouldn't be where you would build an operation like that. You're going to need to go somewhere, to a lower cost destination to do that.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So that's something I would think about. Is it's great that you've got this product and everything, and you're selling the product, but I think this business from becoming a very large business could be a very large business, and I think the IFM would give you that differentiated positioning.
Is there can you help us making maybe introductions to potential investors?
Yes, I will talk about, if you just hang on for a little bit, I will spend time on how 1 million by 1 million works with entrepreneurs, and I will absolutely help you with that.
Perfect. Any other comments you have in terms of the presentation?
The presentation is good. I think you've got everything here. It looks clean. The thing that is missing is a TAM analysis, and the TAM analysis would be different based on your assumption on whether you're building a software as a service business or a SaaS-enabled BPO business, which is the DIFM business is what's going to be. And they're 2 completely different businesses. So which business are you funding is something you should think about.
Yeah, the TAM that I presented is only the analytics and publishing tools. So that's the only portion that is mentioned there.
Yeah. All right. Well, hang on. I will talk more about how to work with 1M in a moment. Let me first work with Ranjana. Ranjana apparently has sent a new. Thank you, Gilad. Good presentation.
Thank you.
Ranjana, you're up next. You could unmute your line.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hi. So I'm going to talk to you today about efficient. So we live in a globalized world. So I'm here in Geneva, Switzerland. That's where I'm based. And my co-founder is in Delhi, India. The reason is because I'm Indian and I was brought up here in Switzerland. So I decided to have a co-founder in India because obviously for the development team, it's much cheaper for me. So what is efficient? Efficient is mobile efficient. So I'm obviously taking an analogy with the Swiss Army knife because this is what efficient is. Could you go to the next slide? What efficient offers you is a platform that helps any company to deploy their enterprise strategy. So as you know, mobile apps can do so much for your personal life. So our concern was, why can't it do more for our work? And most of the companies here believe that mobile apps for business purposes can enhance business productivity and flexibility. So this is the pain area we are addressing. Next slide. Of course, it's easier said than done when you talk about enterprise mobility. It's not as easy. You have multiple tools for building and deploying and managing apps. You have to be sure that business data security is taken care of. You have high development time, multiple mobile platforms, and the cost of updates and upgrades are, of course, also quite important. So basically, you have a high total cost of ownership. And usually SMBs can't really afford it. Next slide. So we have come up with a revolutionary mobility platform as a service that will make it easier, faster, and affordable for companies to have their business processes and data into secure mobile apps. And this is one platform, one single solution for all the enterprise mobility challenges I just addressed earlier. We have a rapid mobile app development, the mobile backend as a service. We have a secure mobility tunnel that we have developed, and we are in the process of having a patent for that. We have an integrated mobility management, secure container app, and we have also included in that platform, in our Envision platform, a push messaging platform. It's like an internal WhatsApp that will allow employees to communicate between each other. Next slide. So let me take an example so it will be easier to understand how Envision works. So this is an example of a customer. We have a big private bank. So we're using it for a field asset security audit. So let me explain to you. Before Envision, so the auditor would travel to the different bank branches, to the different ATMs. He'd have to complete audit on printed paper form, then of course enter the data to Excel sheet and then send it via email to the head office. The Excel sheet in the office would be received by email manually, fed into the audit server, and then all the concerned managers in the bank would start viewing and analyzing the data on their computer. Now, as I'm saying, we're going to enhance productivity, and that's why Envision is here to actually revolutionize the workspace. So we're going to have auditor travels to bank branch RTMs, and all they need to do is complete audit using Envision platform. And it saves the data to audit server in the head office, and that's it, bingo. All the concerned managers can view audit analysis. So one can see how much time this is. It saves time, it saves energy, it saves everything. So this is the reason why we want to revolutionize the workspace. This is just one example of what Envision could do to enhance productivity and flexibility in the workspace. Next slide. Let me take another case of a customer we have in the manufacturing sector. So this is one of the largest aluminum companies we have. So we use it for order approvals, for plant and equipment maintenance, leave applications, production planning and control, and even announcement. As I said, we have included push notifications in our platform. So it's just doing an amazing job, actually.
Ranjana, are you paying customers, and how much do they pay you?
Sorry, the call dropped. I couldn't hear you.
Are these two customers use cases that you described, are these paying customers, and how much do they pay you?
Okay. I have my model in the next slide. If you wish, you can see it. So it's yes, these are paid customers. These were the key competitive advantages that I've already gone through earlier. Secure container app, integrated messaging. The market opportunity is huge, it's humongous. You can imagine India's mobile workforce is 205 million. And I'm comparing with the population where I live, with Switzerland, with 16 times the Swiss population or the population of Germany and France altogether. And out of the 205 million people, 65% own a smart mobile device. So I think I don't need to explain how much the market opportunity is huge. So this is the revenue model. Yeah, you were asking me. So this is the revenue model. It's $2.5 to $5 per device per month. And of course, it's subject to minimum billing commitment, which is like annual subscription. So who are we targeting? All the SMBs with mobile workforce more than 10 employees, any sector, and obviously if they have IT system because we do the backend integration. So the thing is, our primary focus is India, and because I'm in Switzerland and I know the European market really well, I'm also planning to have more European customers and in the Middle East. And our marketing strategy would be, maybe I should just go back to the previous slide, sorry. It would be solution sales either to large enterprises And we're planning to have VAR network because I worked there for a long time, so I know the good VARs, the value-added resellers, who help me get a big customer base. Because as you know, B2B sales cycle is pretty big, so it's good to leverage on a VAR network, on a value-added reseller network. Yes, next slide.
My first comment to you, Ranjana, is that selling to SMBs in India is a very tedious process.
Okay, that's not very encouraging, but I think if you go to
it's a very tedious process. It's incredibly lengthy sales cycles, and they don't pay very much, and those two are not compatible. You know, very long sales cycles for very small deals makes for very bad businesses.
So what would you suggest for India if you want to take the market by storm?
You cannot make the market. I don't think you're going to take the market by storm in India. My recommendation would be if you can take your Indian development team and sell more in Europe, especially because you have European roots. If you can sell more in Europe and EMEA, you're going to be more successful, especially Europe. I think if you can find a niche working in Europe, you would find you'll find a lot bigger success.
Than in India, is that what you say?
Yes.
Okay. And sorry to ask this again, but in part of the VAR network in India, you don't think this is going to be successful, this strategy, through VAR?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
Not a lot of SMBs in India consume very small amounts of technology, and the sales cycles are very long, and it's just
Can you guys hear me? I don't know why it got in trouble. Oh mon Dieu, qu'est-ce qui se passe? J'ai plus de connexion.
It looks like Sharmana's line was disconnected.
Okay, are you back? I'm back. I don't know, it got disconnected. I couldn't hear anyone. Are you there?
One second, Ranjana.
Sure.
Maureen, what's the issue?
We couldn't hear you for a few moments, but now you're back. I don't know what happened. Okay.
You couldn't hear me. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Everything was. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, Sana. Okay, so the competition.
Ranjana, just a second. We were on your competition slide, and I said that SAP, IBM, and Kony are large players, and they target the large enterprises mostly. And you're saying you want to go after the mid-market, and I'm saying since you're based in Europe, you should go target the mid-market European customer base. Now, these small competitors that you list here, where do they operate geographically?
Okay, Feed Henry is in Ireland, and they operate in the United States and in Europe, and Verivo is in America. But I was not so much concerned about the large competitors because they are far too big, and as I said, they target big companies, multinationals, and I really think, I'm sorry to say this, but I think that we can take the Indian market by storm because we have been doing our marketing research, and we already have clients in India, and we can see there is a real need of enterprise mobility in the small SMEs. It's true that it is very tedious, to get
The
clients.
Indian market still will. Can you not find some customers in India? Yes, you can find some customers in India. Are you going to take the market by storm? No. That is my opinion. You're entitled to having your own opinion. You've come here to ask for my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion based on my experience.
Sure. Okay.
And trust me, I've seen hundreds and thousands of businesses over the last years of doing this, right? I've been doing this for a long time, so you can discard your prerogatives.
Yeah. So, so the exit strategy actually is about a large international enterprise mobility solution who would be looking to enter the Asian market in the next 2 to 4 years. So, of course, the premises is that we thought that they would be interested in having someone who is very present in India. That was our aim. And, of course, in Switzerland and in the Middle East also. So,
all right, I send you my feedback, so it's up to you to do what you want to do with it.
Okay, but I'll definitely get back to you afterwards and ask you some more questions, probably in the premium program or something like that.
Okay. All right, folks, I will take a few minutes and explain to you how 1M works, especially those of you who are interested in learning about that. If you like what we do here, and I'm going to caveat that by saying we give you actual feedback. I'm not, just like with Ranjana right now, I did not tell her what she wants to hear. She wants to hear that, oh, yes, Indian SME market is great. You're going to take the market by storm. That will be wonderful. You just heard me tell her that I don't believe that. And that's how I operate. I'm going to tell you what I think. What I think based on my experience, based on my knowledge of those markets, and based on what I've seen entrepreneurs struggle with. If you don't like it, that is entirely your problem. You know, if you want to work with 1M, you're going to have to accept the fact that I'm not going to sugarcoat feedback and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. So if that caveat is comfortable with you, if you want authentic feedback and authentic help in building your businesses, we do have a lot of experience in helping entrepreneurs build businesses, and you're very welcome to work with us. And please refer other entrepreneurs, other serious entrepreneurs who want to really build businesses and really work on, you know, put in the years of work that it's going to require to build businesses using the 1M program. And I'll walk you through the resources in a moment. So everything, by the way, is at 1mby1m.com. So it's an online program. It's a 100% global, 100% virtual program. You can access it from anywhere in the world. If you've been to these sessions before, you know that we have people. Last week there were people from Nigeria. You know, today you see people from India and from Switzerland, from California. You know, it's really, we have people from all over the place, Australia, Latin America, everything. So it is, by design, it is a global virtual incubator and accelerator, and we do both incubation work and acceleration work. So we have, in terms of free resources, we have a very powerful blog which is chock full of material that will help you learn and help you stay on top of what's happening in the market, learn from entrepreneurs who have done this before. Then we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, which is very reasonably priced, you know, $9.99 books on Kindle, and there are 12 of those, 12 volumes of those, double-clicking down on a specific topic, and it's full of somewhere between 12 to 16 case studies, in some cases more case studies, and essentially it helps you master each of these topics. So go look at Kindle and you'll find all of them and see what is your interest, and you can definitely have a very, very low-priced entry point into the program. This is what our site looks like. There are tons of videos on the site. These free roundtables, another free resource, are these roundtables. This is our 261st roundtable, and they are free. We have had actually over 30,000 people attend, and you know, we are here pretty much every Thursday. And please use the program, and you know, again, just brace yourself for direct, authentic feedback, unsugar-coated. That's the only thing I would say that you need to kind of be prepared for. because we want you to succeed. I cannot, in good conscience and good faith, lead you down a path or encourage you to go down a path that is not going to lead to success. So that's kind of, something that you have to brace yourself for. But at the end of the day, we do have a proven program that a lot of entrepreneurs have used, are using, are succeeding in. So, if you choose to use it, I'm pretty sure we can help you. Free public roundtables are the page on the website is where you register to pitch or to attend. If you want to pitch, please make sure that you, register as soon as possible. Sessions tend to get pretty full in terms of people wanting to pitch. Then we have the premium program, which is a $1,000 annual membership fee, and we offer you extensive methodology guidance. We have a great curriculum. We help you with business development. We help you with strategy consulting. We help you with financing, and we help you get the word out. We have a lot of reach, our own blog, huge amount of social media presence, a very widely subscribed LinkedIn influencer column, Twitter, Facebook, everything, and we give you access to that reach to promote your stuff. The $1 Million Club is a link on the website where you find case studies of successful entrepreneurs in our program. The value equation is our ROI analysis. We provide $375,000 plus 5 to 10% equity worth of value for just a $1,000 annual membership fee. And entrepreneurs tend to often stay in the program for multiple years just because of the value they get. The one-on-one self-assessment is a set of questions that you should ask yourselves. Investors will definitely ask you those questions, and you should ask those questions of yourselves. It's all available, for free on the website. It's a tool that you should use. About the premium program, there's a ton of material on the website. You have, what to expect from the program, lots of video FAQs which should answer your questions. The curriculum is a combination of case studies and video lectures. We've had over 600 successful entrepreneurs, including many, many bootstrapped entrepreneurs, 350-plus entrepreneurs who have raised a lot of venture capital and have built highly valued companies. Over 50 unicorn entrepreneurs have been part of our case study program. They've come here to the forum, related their stories, their advice, their lessons from the trenches, and we have synthesized all this in our curriculum. The curriculum was launched at the end of 2010. We have enhanced it every month. And today it's a really powerful, proven curriculum that a lot of people are learning from, and we know that it works. So you will, if you use this curriculum and this program, we know that you're going to be a much more sophisticated entrepreneur in due course as you go along. In the curriculum, we have 7 major topics in the core: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, positioning, customer acquisition, and team building. And on the electives, we have a variety of different topics that are more industry segment related or special issues related. So Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education, gaming, etc. All these are elective modules. We have one about building unicorn companies. We have one about women entrepreneurs. So all these are, you have basically unlimited usage of the entire curriculum as part of your membership. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. Even if you raise money, we still believe that raising huge amounts of money typically is not the best way to provide return on investment to investors or for yourself, unless you're Facebook or Google, which most of you are not Facebook or Google. So you're going to have to kind of pay attention to how you manage your financing strategy. And the other fact of the matter is it's very difficult to raise money on concepts. So those of you who are dreaming about financing concepts, you really have to pause and understand what's happening in the industry in terms of financing. What are the expectations from investors as far as financing metrics are concerned. You do need a validated business to be able to raise any financing from professional investors. And as I said, we do offer you a lot of media coverage and just media distribution in general through our channels, and you're very welcome to use our social media channels as well as our blog, etc., to get your word out. And we also cover you in our columns and stuff. If you are building a community somewhere, wherever in the world you are, you're welcome to become a partner of the 1M1M program. We're happy to work with you. Upcoming free roundtables pretty much every week in June. And then one last book reference is Vision India 2020, which is a book I wrote a few years ago. And I published $45 billion business ideas, but it's written as business fiction, as if we're sitting in 2020, reflecting back on building these businesses. And you can take any of these ideas and build on them. So it is, the book is pretty much geared towards helping entrepreneurs who are working on India, somehow leveraging India either as a market or as a production location, catering to a global world of customers. You would find a lot of interesting ideas here, and maybe you want to pick up one of them to develop. The 1M1M Incubator in a Box is what we use with many of our partners to do their incubation work. So we have a bunch of corporate partners as well as other kinds of partners with whom we do corporate incubation work or any other kind of partnered incubation work. Once again, the more recent Entrepreneur Journeys books are Billion Dollar Unicorns, Carnival in the Cloud, Bootstrapping with a Paycheck, From E-Commerce to Web 3.0, and they're all available on Kindle. So we are ready for Q&A. If you have questions, please use the public chat or feel free to dial in to the phone line. Whatever works is fine. Gilad Salamander, can we get intros? Yes, you can get intros. If you're part of the premium program, you can absolutely get intros. The whole process of business development, help with financing, all of that is about introductions. Anybody else? Questions, comments? So let me also introduce you to Irina Patterson. If you have questions about the premium program, you can contact Irina. Irina at 1mby1m.com is her email address, and her phone number is 78630124456. She prefers that you email her first, and if necessary, she will get on the phone as well. Anybody else with questions or comments? Introductions. We also like to know who you are, where you're dialing from, how did you find out about 1M1M. So please use the public chat to tell us where you're dialing from. You're very welcome. Hello, Hitesh. Where are you dialing from, or where are you participating from? From India. Where in India? And what are you working on? Gurgaon, India. And what is your project, Hitesh? This is a good, good time to network, basically. So I see that some of you have already introduced Gilad has already provided the link to eClincher, so definitely check that out. You're into startup advisory. Have you done a startup before? Utkarsh, what is Periscope? You're saying would recommend Periscope for 1M1M. What is Periscope? Ranjana, in spite of your book Vision India 2020, you don't think SMEs are good for my mobility platform as a service. Have you read Vision India 2020, Ranjana? Oh, you're talking about the live streaming app. Oh, okay. Ranjana, you loved it. So which chapter of Vision India 2020 talks about selling to SMEs in India? Hitesh is saying he's following the blog for a while and this is your first roundtable. Great. Well, welcome, Hitesh. I hope you found it interesting. By the way, you will find all the recordings of all our roundtables on the YouTube channel, so you can listen to them offline as well. There's fabulous content in those roundtables. So Ranjana, the fact that there is nothing in Vision India 2020 catering to SMEs is something that you should kind of pay attention to. Part of it is because it's hard to sell technology to SMEs in India. It's not like nobody has succeeded in selling technology to SMEs in India, but it's it has specific dynamics. There's a company called Knowlarity. You can look at the case study on my blog that is successfully selling to SMEs in India. But it's a very, very, very simple solution that they're selling, and they are selling through VARs. They're a very, very deep reseller network, and it's out there, and that's how they're selling. That's very good. But it's incredibly simple. And mobile platform as a service is not simple at all to sell. I'll put it in the public chat. It's Knowlarity. Ranjana, yes, I do think Europe would be a much better bet for you. I absolutely think that. And mobile platform as a service is not simple to sell. You know, Coney, for instance, if you look at our thought leaders in mobile and social series, I actually had the CEO of Coney as part of an interview, a case study. You can look at that. It's hard to sell mobile platform as a service, and it's going to be a relatively complex sale that Indian SMEs is the last place I would go to build that business. Hitesh Mehra says, I believe along with doing business, there are lots of stuff to learn from these seminars. Yes, I agree with that. There's a lot to learn from these. Utkarsh says, really great, Shromana, would definitely bring in fellow entrepreneurs and probably pitch next week. Excellent. Look forward to listening to your pitch, Utkarsh. Anybody else? Any other comments, questions, introductions? All right. So Ranjana, it's going to be hard for you to make the switch, the mental switch right away, because you were going down a certain path and I've just told you not to go down that path. You cannot absorb that feedback and internalize that feedback in 5 minutes. That's just not how human mind operates. Human mind needs to absorb things. You can take my feedback. You should do your own due diligence. You should understand. You know, you can talk to other Indian entrepreneurs who are trying to sell into Indian SMEs and you know, get more color around that topic. But that's just, you know, because I have seen so much, so many entrepreneurs, and I've worked with so many go-to-market strategies at this point, this is my feedback. But to internalize that feedback, you're going to need to do your own thing to, you know, absorb that feedback and act on it. So I'm not surprised that you're resisting that feedback. That's fine. You know, that's part of the job that I do, right, in trying to mentor you and to help you course correct if you're going down a path that I believe is not going to work based on my experience, because you don't have that same level of experience. It is my job to help you course correct and help you change your direction. That doesn't mean it is easy to change directions. So I have a lot of empathy for your process, that you're going to need to go through a process to switch directions. It's not going to happen on a dime. You don't move on a dime. Human beings don't move on a dime from a path that they were going down. Okay. Feel free to join the premium program, and we can guarantee you that we will do our part in helping you succeed. That is our commitment to you, most certainly. Anybody else? Gilad, I just want to tell you one thing. The reason I am bullish about this DIFM strategy for your company is that I am actually seeing a real trend in DIFM right now, and I think some very large companies are going to get built based on the DIFM principle. If you read my Billion Dollar Unicorns book, there's a concluding chapter, like an epilogue, called Future Unicorns. And I've talked about this trend of SaaS-enabled business process outsourcing, otherwise known as DIFM, as an area where a lot of large unicorn businesses are going to be built out of, which is why the moment I saw that on your slides and I assessed your business, my guidance to you is to build that business over the pure SaaS business, where you have a very competitive landscape. You're going to have to compete with a large competitor like Hootsuite that has huge brand recognition, and whatever they're lacking in features, they're going to continue to fill that out. Whereas if you switch completely to DIFM, you will have a much more direct way of competing and building your business. And it's cash flow-wise, it's a much easier business to build because you're going to be able to charge a lot more. Make sense? Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? All right, folks. We will see you next week. Those of you who want to present the recordings, there's incredible amount of material in the recordings, and all the things that I talked about early on in the show today, the different links that I gave you, the links to a couple of videos as well as a couple of blog posts to analyze and understand what's happening in this, over-bloated valuation scenario. Please go through those so that you are on top of it, you understand it fully. Liz Crosby, can you talk about more about DIF, do it yourself, do it for me, DIFM versus SaaS on another session, please? I can give you some pointers right now. Do it for me, yes? So let me give you pointers. First and foremost, the concluding chapter of the Billion Dollar Unicorns book has a summary of that, and there is also a chapter on DIFM in the Billion Dollar Unicorns book. There's also a chapter on DIFM in the positioning book, Positioning How to Test. Running on the blog right now called Absolute Data. That is a DIFM case study. So so we have coverage on DIFM on the blog, so you can look at that. Do a search on both of those monikers. Do it for me as well as SaaS-enabled PPO. And you will find material, supporting material on that. Liz, what is your business? What are you trying to build? What kind of a business are you trying to build? See, the notion that I'm really excited about right now is this concept of modular businesses. Small businesses are outsourcing everything, and today it is possible to outsource everything. You can hire people from Odesk and Elance. You can hire agencies from Odesk and Elance to do things for you. You can hire accountants. You can, there are apps that are going to do stuff for you, accounting for you, and so forth. And this is a real trend. Small businesses, actually the Absolute Data case study is working for Fortune 500 companies doing big data science related work, and they're doing DIFM on that sector. So, but especially in SMEs, this notion of modular businesses and modular business process outsourcing is very, very pertinent right now. So I think it's, it's a very reasonable direction to go if you want to do a DIFM business catering to SMEs in any of the critical business processes that small businesses have a hard time delivering on or hiring for. That's very good, Liz. It sounds like that is the direction that you need to go. So feel free to come and pitch, and I'll be happy to work more with you on your business, or join the premium program, and we can really roll up our sleeves and help you. Liz, where are you based? UK, okay. Terrific. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? All right, folks, we'll see you next week then. Good luck. Hope you make progress. Meanwhile, talk to you soon. Bye.